Next up we're staying here. Got my USB stick here, the Penny USB 3.0. No point of using USB 3.0 on this Optiplex. But the reason why I do it is because it maxes out the 2.0 bus, and therefore you get a really fast read and write. I just plugged it in, and let's go into the BIOS to see the settings to make this computer work with Mac. So, hope you guys can read this. So I'm going to press F2 to go into the BIOS. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to load defaults. Now this are the settings for most DELL Optiplexes. So basically you load the defaults and then you exit. And then you go back into the BIOS. So this is a guide for any DELL Optiplex. It doesn't matter what version you're running. It could be 745, 755, 760, 780, 960, whatever. As long as it has a Core 2 Duo or a Core 2 Quad, you're fine. This guide should work for you. So I just reset the BIOS back to default, and then all you want to do is go into drives, SATA operation. You want to set it to whatever's ATA or IDE. The reason why is because the driver file that's in my extra folder is built for ATA. You just want to set it to ATA, or it's also known as IDE. ATA and IDE are basically the same thing. And then you just want to go into performance and want to make sure multi-core is enabled and speed step is enabled. And then you don't want to change anything else. And the only other thing you want to go into is, if you have a 755 or 7 series, in performance there will be virtualization, or maybe it's in post behavior, like here. But in the 9 series, there's virtualization is its own category. So you just want to enable virtualization if you want to run parallels. And also you don't want to check VT for direct IO. If you enable this, it won't let you to boot up. And also you don't want Intel Trusted Execution Technology. That will not allow your Hackintosh to boot up. So then we're just going to exit, and we're going to press F12 to get into the one-time boot menu. Okay. And you just want to go to USB device, and if it says onboard SATA hard drive and not the name of your hard drive, you know you did the BIOS right because you set it to ATA. And then you just want to press F8 here, and you want to type in -V. Okay, and then just wait till this finishes. The guide to make my USB stick will be, if you missed part 1, which is how to make the USB stick, the guide will be in this video description. I will try to put it in there. If I don't, someone write a comment and say, hey, where's for part 1? But if you know my channel, part 1 will be in my channel. And I plan on making a playlist specifically for this topic: how to install Mac OS X on a DELL Optiplex, any series with a Core 2 Duo or Core 2 Quad. So there it goes. Now it's booting up. So this really works for any DELL Optiplex. It doesn't really matter what you're running. It just works. But the only thing you have to have is a supported graphics card. So you have to look up Mac Pro 2008 to 2012 Mac Pro, and you want to look up what graphics cards are supported in there in Yosemite. And then basically, okay, that's weird. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes, whoa. What is going on? basically my DVI and VGA were disconnected. I have a DVI to VGA adapter, and that does not work in Yosemite. Wish it did, but it doesn't. And basically I was using HDMI on this monitor, and that's not supported on the Hackintosh. So first thing you have to do is choose your language and then go into disk utility, and then you basically, can you guys read that? Let me see if I can fix this any better. Sorry about the shady camera work. Sorry if my camera's a little bit tilted, but I have to rest it on 2 desktops in order to film this. So we go to your main hard drive, and make sure you back up anything important, because this will erase it. Now you just want to go to erase, and then change it to Mac OS Extended Journaled. You could go into partition, but I'm not going to bother. Macintosh HD. And the only thing you want to make sure is that it's set to Mac OS Extended Journaled, and that this down here is set to GUID. It's the only thing that's important. You just want to erase your hard drive, and then you want to go into disk utility and quit that. Then you want to go to continue, and then agree. And then choose Macintosh HD and click continue, and just let it install as if it was a real Mac. And then basically when it's done, we will be booting from the USB stick again to get back into the installed image. Alright, so I'll be back when something exciting happens. So it's basically almost done, so I just wanted to show you guys what happens when it ends. So basically this guide will work with any supported graphics card, whether it's NVIDIA or ATI. It has to be, you have to install a graphics card that's compatible with Mac OS X. Basically, if the Mac Pro supports it, then this computer will support it. And basically, you gotta start thinking when you start installing hardware inside this machine, is it Mac compatible? So if you put a sound card in there, if you put a USB card, you have to buy one that's Mac Pro compatible. But with graphics cards, you could buy any graphics card, any PC graphics card that's equivalent to a Mac graphics card, such as 8400, 8600, 8800 NVIDIA, or 9400, 9800, or 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, or 700 series NVIDIA graphics cards. Now I'm an expert, not an expert, but I know a lot about NVIDIA, but I don't know much about ATI, so if you have an ATI graphics card, I don't know which one would be compatible, but majority of NVIDIA graphics cards work with this this guide. And if you happen to have the small form factor, you'll have to run a low profile card, or have one of those brackets that allow you to run the full size card. So it just finished. I'm going to click restart, and then I'm going to press F12 when it boots up. So we boot from the USB stick again. If you happen to get to a blinking dash, just reboot the computer and then press F12 and boot from that. Boot from the flash drive. And then up here it says USB. We want to go to the right and choose Macintosh HD and type in -V. And this guide should work fine with El Capitan when that is released. It's supposed to be released this fall. I plan on making a guide on how to install El Capitan when that's released. But it should be the identical procedure to installing El Capitan on this computer. There should be no difference in the guide, because I don't use DSDT files, therefore it's not OS specific or model specific. So this will work with Dell. It will work with Mountain Lion, Mavericks, Yosemite, and it should work fine with El Capitan. I don't see why it wouldn't work with El Capitan. So I'm just waiting for this to boot up, and then we'll just set this up like a normal Mac. Just set it up as if you would a real Mac. That's all I say. And when we're at the desktop, I'll film again, and I'll show you what to do next. I just wanted to show you guys that it does boot up successfully, because before I cut it and then I had to plug in my monitors. Basically, before the monitors were plugged into the wrong jack on the back of the graphics card. So you cannot use VGA with Yosemite. It just does not work. You need DVI to use Yosemite. So it will say waiting for Don't Steal macOS, and then all that comes up, and then you will see the desktop. NVIDIA HAL 150 loaded and registered. There we are. There is the boot up screen. And let me just set this up, and then I'll be back. The only thing here, I would uncheck set time zone based on current location. And what I recommend doing is just uncheck this set diagnostics and use the data apple. But the first thing you should uncheck is this one, so it doesn't do that behind your back. And then just hit continue. And then you're done. You should be greeted at the desktop. So my camera battery is dying again, so if it dies, I will just have to get a new camera battery. Okay, so now I'm at the desktop. Let me show you guys what's up here. So there is a USB. So let's go in our USB drive and let's copy the generic Yosemite. This folder that we created before, and then we just want to run MyAC. Okay, open that, and we just want to install Chameleon first. It's a good idea. So just install Chimera. Okay. You know what? Do that afterward. So let's run MyAC. Enter my super secret password, and then we just have to install extra, and then we do it on root. Don't do this on a real Mac because it will break it. And then change it to use my own, and then we go to desktop, general Lion. Now it does say 755, but it works on any DELL Optiplex with a Core 2 Duo or Core 2 Quad. I have not tested it on the newer Optiplexes with the i3s, i5s, or 7s, but it should work. So just tell me, let me know in the comments below if it works with any other DELL Optiplexes. Should work fine with any DELL Optiplex with a Core 2 or greater. So Core 2, Core 2 Duo, Core 2 Quad, any of them should work fine, as long as your processor is 64-bit. So we just installed the extra folder, and then we just want to install Chimera. So we agree. And what's really cool is you can hit this customize, and then you can hit the black theme, and it will install the black theme for Yosemite, so that when you boot it up, it's really cool. And just hit OK on that. Yeah, a lot of stuff. And then just close that. And the last thing we gotta do before you reboot it, don't reboot it at this stage. Go into Go, and then go to Computer. go into Macintosh HD and then extra and copy this chameleon boot.plist file and change this. Use kernel cache equals yes. Change it to capital N-O. Capital N, lowercase o. And then all you have to do is just open this to make sure it does it right. And then drag that over. And then just replace it. And you should be fine updating Mac. This guide does not work with Clover. Clover does not work with this guide. And see, now it's set to no because I don't use a DSTT file, so Clover would not work. That's all you have to do, and then now you can just literally first thing I'm going to do is eject the USB stick. Yeah, of course eject. Okay, and then I'm going to reboot the system. Uncheck that and reboot. And you can see the USB stick is out of the system. And I will prove it to you that it does work without that. I've done this so many times. For myself, I have one DELL Optiplex, but I reinstall it very often because there's too much stuff cluttered on my hard drive. And basically, it needs to be reinstalled. Plus, I switch from Windows to Mac a lot. I can never make up my mind which one is better. So, let's see it boot up. So, I'll show that monitor. And I'm just going to hold down the power button. It does shut down pretty quickly if you put an SSD in here, but it just, I'm going to force it. It should shut down fine. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn it on again. And then I'm just going to press F12 again and show you that I am booting. Oh, let me zoom out a little bit. Let me show you that I am booting from the hard drive this time. There it is. Okay, and I'm just going to boot into it. And it should boot up totally fine. So once you're in Mac, then you can do everything a Mac can do. You can do Final Cut, you can do Logic, you can do iMovie, GarageBand, iPhoto, Pages, Numbers, Keynote, the new Photos app in Yosemite. You can do anything a real Mac can do. As long as you have a graphics card that Mac supports. The onboard graphics card in most DELL Optiplexes is not supported with Mac most of the time. Unless you have a 4000 series, like HD 4000 series, then that's compatible with Mac, but that's the only one. So we'll just wait till this boots up and then we'll be done. And you will see, and then that will be it for this series. Maybe I'll show off how I'm using it later on. But this is about it that I'm going to show off. There go the screens. There's my login dialog. And let me just log in. Okay. And this. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I forcibly shut it down, so it asked me, do you want to reopen the windows? And it asked you, do you want to set up your keyboard? Yeah, why not? Alright, there we are. Mac OS 10 on a DELL Optiplex, and to prove it to you, Apple about this Mac. Zoom in. If the camera dies, that will be it, guys. The weird thing is, it's a Core 2 Quad inside this machine, but it shows up as a Core 2 quad-core Intel Xeon, but it's 2.66 GHz, which is correct. 8 GB of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GT 630, 2048 megs, and this is serial number. And it thinks it's a Mac Pro. And it does detect both of my displays, Asus D23A This is a 3D display, and this is a HP display. And storage, 1 terabyte of space, memory, 8 gigs, support, and service. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. Good luck with your Hackintosing. The only thing I recommend changing, forgot to mention this, is set the sleep to never. And uncheck this, uncheck these 2 boxes. And also go into security and privacy and unlock that. And then allow from anywhere. Alright. And then that's about it. That's all you really have to change. Alright. Good luck. Alright, see ya. Peace.